Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Fern. I'm an ex-Cal Invite Game Defense Source player in IGL 151. I have been grinding towards Platinum 3, and I actually did it the other day. The game has changed so much. Almost every single game, the champion squad in my lobby is at least a master player. The games have changed a lot. There are more teams alive in those final circles, and there are more teams just waiting for you when you're on a rotate, especially when you're going through a popular section. I have a couple of notes here. I still need to work on my own aim and my shield swaps, my looting. But one thing I'm noticing as I'm ranking up and playing against more challenging lobbies is that team composition matters a lot more. And these 3 points kind of are intertwined. The other ones I have are trade-offs and kind of that chess match. But one thing I'm noticing personally is that the team composition really matters. So depending on where your location is and where the final ring is, you're gonna have to rotate or not rotate, right? So if you're forced to rotate towards a circle, in the higher level lobbies, teams are gonna be waiting for you on those nice rotates. They just are, like, they're just gonna be waiting there. That's just how it works, right? In this game. That's what I'm experiencing in Diamond Masters levels lobbies. That's just what happens. They just wait for you. They're waiting on the rotate, they're waiting for you to rotate, and the reason why I'm saying team comp matters is because if you don't have to rotate, having a team like Watson or Caustic, players, legends like Watson or Caustic in your team, make holding those spots a lot easier. Now, if you have to rotate, do you have the legends that can break a position? If you're forced to break into a Caustic or a Watson position, do you have the legends to do that? Legends like a Bloodhound, maybe to identify the exact setup, or some other type of recon legend, or you have a support legend that can help with sustained fighting. Here's a clip of me on Conduit. And we held this position, and one thing that helped us was that we had Fuse, right?
They don't get sniped up here.
Excuse me. Fuse is a pretty versatile legend. Not very mobile compared to my favorite Bangalore, but great at this, great at holding positions, and can still kind of move. But team comp matters. Like way more than I realized at like lower levels. Like when I was in bronze and silver and gold lobbies, it didn't matter as much because you can just get the kills. Like you can force your way through and get the kills, or at least I could have. In these higher level lobbies, those margins begin to decrease, and just like I had expected. But the margins are decreasing in ways that I had not expected, specifically with the team comps. Like, team comp really matters. Your ability to break positions if you're on a rotate is really important, actually. Like, it really is. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, and it won't come up, so the best example won't come up until a little later in this, like best plays video essentially, is that trade-offs matter. Okay? There's a good clip coming up where we had a decision to make to either gatekeep on the ring that we were currently in, or since we knew where it was going to pull, we move earlier.
There's two teams fighting over here.
And in hindsight, we probably should have moved earlier and killed the team that was in those double towers. Because what ends up happening is that we get pushed by, I think, 3 teams. Some of them fight each other, and we kill 2. But what ends up happening is that we get those teams, and then there's that team at those 2 towers waiting for us. So those trade-offs matter. Like, do we risk the potential of losing a gunfight earlier in the game to take the better position? Or do we wait on the outer ring and risk getting killed later in the game? Now, what I will say is that specifically with that game that's going to come up is that if we had an evac tower, things would have been fine. Things would have been okay if we had an evac.
Yeah, we got to finish this.
Because we would have been able to get kind of stuck in the position we were in, evac, get out of there, and reposition.
One's weak as fuck over here.
Right here on this side.
We got stuck because we did not have an evac tower, and the fuse was waiting on the other side, and we had to cross like 200 yards out of this place.
One's over here on me.
But trade-offs, man. Those mid-game decisions really matter.
Let's go, baby.
So like the section you drop in, obviously the ring is going to rotate. You don't have any control over that, right? You're going to drop where you want to drop. Whether you get a gun early on in the game, in your specific area, you can't really control that, right? Sometimes the opponents are going to get a gun, sometimes you won't have the gun, and vice versa. You won't be able to control that. But what you can control is your gun skill in those early game sections. Kind of the cohesion, making sure that you're playing properly. And that's like, those early games is basically like gun game, right? It's like gun game or gun run. Really fast, you got a gun that maybe you're not the best with or you're not the most comfortable with. So it's all gun skill early on and playing with your teammates. Late game, positioning, super important, right? But it's also kind of like out of your control because sometimes the ring is going to swing to a position that you're not in, or the other team has a better advantage. Evac towers will help with that. I guess Valkyrie can help with that. But you don't have a lot of control over that. So some of it's kind of like a crapshoot. The mid game, same thing, but you have those trade-offs where if you know where the ring's going to rotate, do you take the early position and risk multiple teams, pushing you with the opportunity of another team seeing that, taking advantage of that, right? And either positioning themselves in a better spot or like third, fourth, or fifth party on you. That's the risk. That's the trade-off. So those are the types of decisions I could see that seasoned, really top-level IGLs would have to make at a high level, because the opponent's IGLs are thinking the same thing. Like, well, do we move now or do we wait? Now, this particular clip, I knocked one, and I was playing with a duo. I joined up with these guys. They were good guys. In hindsight, when I down here, we should have pushed. And guess what? There's this, he said he calls play the top, so I'm gonna stick to whatever the IGL says. I'm not gonna go rogue and not do something that the IGL says. Now, in hindsight, he probably should have, right? In hindsight, he probably should have pushed. And I have another good play too. Watch this, my Arc Star or Thermite or something. Thermite gets in behind the Newcastle's shield. And I cracked the Newcastle. Absolutely should have pushed right here because we're in the middle of two teams. Now, we almost won this. I end up in a 1v3 because the Newcastle pushes. Watch this. I don't know why the Newcastle pushed. I think because they were feeling the heat from the ring. But I ripped this
The
Newcastle.
only reason I did. When you said I'm gonna go down, I thought you went down. So I dropped.
And his teammate's still trying to kill me. I smoke it, get the shield swap.
Oh my god, dude. That guy's low.
And I was watching this clip. I should have dropped
Yeah,
down
I'm sorry, guys.
and just try to play my life a little bit, but I try to contest on the top.
One less thing to worry about.
So those trade-offs really matter. And at the lower levels, it was a little bit easier to kind of get through because there's some good rotates. Like this is the good rotate. Like this is the rotate we should be doing. Pretty straightforward.
Dude, no way! I need freaking help, guys!
But as you get higher up in these masters lobbies, diamonds and masters lobbies, it's like other people are also thinking that this is the good rotate. Okay? Other people are like, oh, this is the good rotate. This is a logical choice.
It was only two. It was only two.
So now it becomes, here's the meta game, the game within the game, right? It's like, well, this is the logical choice. How are we going to play this now? We know this ring is swinging here. Or maybe we don't. We're on the move.
Your left burn. Yeah, you saw him.
Do we have a composition that's good on the move? Or do we have a composition that's more, let's set up. Do we have a composition that can break another section, or do we have a hit and run type of composition when we take those gunfights? Are we gonna come in like a sledgehammer and just like, break it down? Or are we going
Put a
to,
bat on, put a bat
Poke.
on, put a bat on. We're good.
if another team comes, we run?
I fucked those guys.
All that matters. All that really matters with the comps, the trade-offs. The trade-offs is super important, ties in with composition because those mid-game decisions are really important. If everybody thinks and knows that these are the logical rotates, it really becomes, I'm like, how are you going to handle it?
Pop in the chimney.
So then that ties in with my third point, which is the chess match. And this is the part that just becomes so much fun. And so much of a challenge.
Like what I see.
And we have the gun skill.
Pop in the chimney.
We have all of the different parts that you want
Double timing it.
to account for in this game.
Give me a second. Charging shields.
So then it becomes kind of a chess match with the other teams. At least that's my experience so far. I haven't been playing this game very long, but that's the part that really starts to come through, especially in some of these higher level lobbies, where like you're forced into positions where you have to decide which fights
Magazine here.
you want to take. Like this is a good example. Now, I call that a team scanned us from the States, but the way that this fight worked out, I knew that there were two teams pushing us. We actually annihilated, I don't know if it was a duo or a full team, but we wiped this team out.
I need somebody to look for me.
So we're faced with
I'm
this
good, I'm
decision.
good,
Do we
I'm good,
take
I'm
a
good, I got out.
States and try to push that, or
Knock that fucking bloodhound though.
based on our gunfighting and the way that this fight worked out, do we stay here and finish the kill and take on this third team, which we probably should have. Like in hindsight, because we knocked him in early and we ripped this bloodhound. So now that's a fast fight. We could take this third. We could have stayed here and taken this third party and looted those dead boxes, right? In hindsight, that's probably what should have happened. Instead, he calls that we move off of it. We go for the rotate flank. Rip that guy. I'm not going to put up a fight about it. Again, this is a duo I joined for a few games.
We have them.
Totally fine. We can rotate. But we got wiped out there. And in hindsight, we probably should have stayed and fought that third team just because we killed that team so fast. It becomes that trade-off
Get on my
game.
left.
There's no good options at the higher levels. Whereas like in the lower levels, there was always a good option. Let's rotate here. You know, but with the chess match version, if the other teams who are waiting for us recognize that we're going to push them, the teams that were chasing us could take that to their advantage and they could chase us faster. Whereas in that previous case, we killed that first team early. The team that was third partying us
Help burn on me.
wasn't ready yet to take that gunfight with us. We had already killed the first team. We should have stayed and then chowed that second team. And this is the clip that I was talking about earlier. So he's content. My teammate here wants to poke at the guys at the towers. And this is mid game.
I like doing that.
And
but I'm a little nervous somebody's just gonna come right up behind us.
his buddy's saying he's nervous that somebody should have come. Now in hindsight,
It is fun to do.
what
I
we
don't
really
think
should have done here was either fully push that team in the towers
hit like 30 right there, which is
or
funny.
chow here with an evac and set up a full-on rotate.
Hard right
That's what should have happened.
Yeah, I got six. I have
Okay,
six here.
because the team across, because he had notified them of our presence with the
Anybody else
poking,
hurt? Anybody want some med
Knew we
kits?
were gonna
Some
come.
Lifeline? I got 2.
so what we should have done was either chow them quickly, zip across, chow them at the towers, wipe out as the ninth squad potentially, or get in as, that's a really high risk play. Or do we hold this outside circle? So for me, I chose to sit here because I knew that teams were gonna come. That's just how these higher level lobbies are going.
Oh, coming up.
This would
coming
have
up right
worked
now,
if we had
Garrett.
an
Get back,
evac,
get
but
back.
this all hell
Coming
breaks
up right
loose.
here, right now.
Okay, because we get pushed by 3 other teams. This is gonna get crazy. And that team again, and those 2 towers are waiting for us.
How is he not dead?
I don't know how he's not dead. I ripped the bloodhounds, cracked the octane.
Push, 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 push.
Okay,
Fucking so low.
I don't understand.
Oh, it's
that.
a Loba.
Different team pushing us from behind. We gotta finish this quick.
So he calls it. I mean, just like I thought
Brandon,
was
can you
gonna
work your way back to
happen.
us?
But this is gonna get crazy here. So I'm not sure if where that first squad went. I don't know if they ran, but another squad pushes us. Okay, this squad has a lifeline. This is crazy. And a Magnum. Here's that other squad. So I bang all here, and we are getting pushed.
Guys, to the side. Down him.
Get the down.
Nice job.
I swing out because I want to kill that lifeline. I saw the res.
Got it. Get back in.
So then I have to bat.
My shields are recharged.
The only thing I'm thinking about this clip after this next section is that on this death box, I should have checked for an evac tower. That's it. If there wasn't one, fine. But if there was, man, we would have been in a really good position. Like a really, really good spot. Because then we could have evac'd off this platform and avoided the team at the 2 towers.
They're resing.
We push this final team. And the L-Star at this close with an extended energy mag, good luck. It's just a buzzsaw. Like I should have scrolled down. Does he have an evac? I don't know.
We gotta get out.
We gotta move right now.
Does that guy have any? The box outside, does he have an evac? There's 2 boxes over there. Did they have evacs?
All my bullets got blocked by you guys.
But this is the chess match. Again, if we would have pushed this team at the 2 towers, we would have risked wiping out at 9th place, but we would have had the better position. So we take the chow, and they need to nerf Fuse, by the way. This ultimate from Fuse is overpowered. This Q and the Z that he has, it's just overpowered. Watch this. Like with a Bangle, I can displace you with Bangle, but I can't wipe a whole team with Bangle. Fuse can wipe a whole team with his Q and his ult. That's overpowered. They need to nerf that.
Oh my
in
fucking
my
god,
opinion.
dude.
It's way too strong. He's just sitting on the other side of the way there, and
There it is. God damn it. They're just holding everybody out, bro. Like, this is so
yeah,
bad.
it's just
when I
it's
turned
overpowered.
to the beginning of the front, I was like, dude, we're smart.
But again, that's the
Like,
final
we
point I
have
wanted
all
to talk
different
about.
rounds.
That's like that chess match, right? Do we push that team earlier and risk losing out at ninth place with the opportunity to take the better position, or do we wait in the mid game with the potential of getting wiped out by like 4 teams that pushed us?
Give me a sec. Recharge your shields.
So that's the trade-offs in chess match portion. Because we know that that team at the 2 towers, they could have easily been wiped out by another team and know nothing about us on the other side of that zip. But what ended up happening was that team was waiting for us and they wiped us out. So at the higher levels, that's really what Apex is all about. At least that's what I see so far.
I
So
realized it when we got right here. And
the game's changing a lot, and I'm going to continue to grind as much as I can.
It's not blue, bro.
How do you go from 1,800 damage to nothing?
Hey,
Don't get me up. I
If you
don't
like the
know.
video, leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.
stop touching.
You guys are salty. Jesus Christ. Salty boy.
Talk to you guys later.
Come on,